brightest day, and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light!
Welcome everyone to a Mr. Comic Book 89 interview and all. Don't do very many of these. I want to try and branch out a little bit more. Should have had my camera set beforehand. I apologize. So I thought, you know, like I said, I'm reaching a new stage in my collecting and all that. I'm branching out to more than just Spider-Man. And I thought, well, I've always liked Green Lantern. Why not talk to one of the biggest Green Lantern fans that I know of on YouTube? So I reached out. And I am pleased to have ComicFoo2814. Welcome. How's it going, man?
It's going well. Going well. I love that intro. That should be the intro to every video on the comic book YouTube community from now on.
Yeah, I looked at this morning going, you know, I should try something. It's no. That one sucks. No. So finally got that one there. So, hey, hon. So I am very thankful that you agreed to be interviewed and all that, to talk about your collection, because I've watched your I've watched your collection videos of Green Lantern going like, and I thought I had a lot of crap.
Can I get you anything else?
No, we're good. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too. All right, so that was Mrs. Comics bringing me some tea. So
Nice.
I'm going to be talking a lot, so I need to keep my throat hydrated. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel real quick here to get things started before we go?
Sure. Well, my channel is really, I just started it to kind of share my collection. I didn't really know what I was doing when I got started, but I started out just kind of showing my latest hauls, and I still do that today, my comic find videos. I kind of branched off early on into mystery boxes. I've always liked doing that at like my local LCS. And so I started getting in over the mail. And so then came my unboxing videos, which really proved to be somewhat popular, I guess.
Yeah.
And what's that?
Go. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's cool. But that's still today, like basically what my channel is about. I do have I've met so many great people here on YouTube that it's allowed me to do some of the live streams. So I've got the Mystery Men with Squatchy and Stevie B, where we open mystery boxes, Comic Vantage mystery boxes. And then I've got the Fanboys and the Retro Review, where I saw Tim was in here, the Comic Collector, Tony Fett, and Magic Lasso, the four of us, and sometimes Flashpoint when he shows up. We like to review older DC books, storylines, and such.
Yeah, I was glad or honored, should I say, when you had me on one of your mystery box, Comic Vantage things, so that was fun there. So, let's get things started then, shall we? So we don't, because these people came here for some Green Lantern stuff, not to hear us talk about how exciting our channels are. So, just subbed ComicFoo, and thanks for the introduction to the channel. Yeah,
appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Yep, and I should have your channel in the description. I think I didn't double check before we started, but and my son is here, so he's his lone wolf.
Hello.
All right, so just first question, I guess it was kind of a two-parter, and like I said, is just a very, very brief general history of Green Lantern and what appeals to you about the character. Kind of thing, get people started for anyone out there like my son who probably doesn't know much about Green Lantern. What is about the character about, kind of thing, brief little 2-minute thing,
Yeah, so the Green Lantern is he's basically a space cop. And he works with the Green Lantern Corps, which are a collection of heroes put together by the Guardians of the Universe. These immortal beings that want to provide safety and security to the universe. And so they've got their Green Lantern Corps, and they assign each one of them a sector to patrol. Earth's sector is 2814, hence the ComicFoo 2814. And that would be Hal Jordan's sector. Now, without getting too much into detail, there's other members of the Green Lantern Corps from Earth, but essentially the character and what draws me to it is the core battle between willpower versus fear. And so the Green Lantern ring basically lets you create anything that you can imagine and kind of bring it to life in this green energy form. So like if you want to throw a big fist, you can create a big green fist. Or if you want to create a fighter jet, it revolves on color. If you want to create a fighter jet, you can have a fighter jet come flying down. It's going to be green, right? So they call them light constructs. And it all has to do on your willpower, if you will it to be, right? And so, and then on the opposite side, you've got the Yellow Lanterns, Sinestro, and they operate on fear. And underlying all that is really the struggle for kind of liberty versus order, if you will, right? And whereas Sinestro wants to use his power of fear to instruct order on his citizens, but in a rather harsh way. And so,
that's cool. How long have you collected Green Lantern? I think I know the answer based on what I watched from you, but it seemed like you always had an interest in the character. From what I've watched, you said you have just particular interest in him. Yeah. So really, ever since I've been a little kid, the Super Friends. I used to play a lot with the Super Powers Kenner toys. In fact, I've got one right here. That's cool. And just so having the action figure as a kid and seeing the Super Friends kind of really interested me in the character. And then it was the Death of Superman storyline, or Reign of the Superman, I believe, where it brought in Green Lantern, number 46, I believe it was. It was the only tie-in to Green Lantern, and it was a tough book to get at the time. And I was trying to complete that run. I was probably, I don't know, I was in my teenage years, but ever since that, then I was like hunting for that one Green Lantern book kind of gave me the desire moving forward. Awesome. Yeah. In fact, number 46, like you said, that's it. Because my very first thing I tried to collect was the entire story arc of Death, World Without, and Reign of the Superman, because my favorite Superman story ever, and I had to have even this connecting issue. So this for a while was my only Green Lantern book, and I recently found on Sunday a newsstand copy on Sunday. So now I have 2 copies of this one. So awesome. Fun fact, I had the Green Lantern toy and the girl lost his arm when I was in 1st grade. Yeah, that sucks. Jason Hal has a habit of tying him. So we're just personal right off the bat, since we had some Kyle Rayner talk earlier. Who's your favorite Green Lantern? I know you said there's more than one there's one per sector, except for ours, which seems to be special and all that. But who's your favorite Green Lantern? Because I know as a kid, I liked the Justice League show, and so it was always John Stewart and all that. But I think if I had to pick a favorite, especially in the comic books, it's Hal Jordan, just the kind of thing. I like Hal and all that. Who's your favorite? I actually like them all, but definitely Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan. Any particular reason that Hal speaks to you, even if he was the original? He's the one I grew up with. And one of my favorite stories in all of comics is the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern, which was like many, many years worth of a run. But and it really did center on Hal Jordan and his rebirth into the DC universe. So every book I've read about or Jeff Johns about Green Lantern has been very, very good. So I definitely see all the hype about him is definitely true. It's not just his ego. It's definitely very good stories. do you know when the character was created? Because I know there's a Golden Age one, or there's a Golden Age Green Lantern who is different than the Green Lantern I have, because I think his reign's based more on magic than willpower.
So Alan Scott is the first Green Lantern. He's the Golden Age, but it's really a different character. His ring's based on magic, whereas the Green Lantern Corps is based on science behind the emotional spectrum, as they call it. And he's allergic to wood. It's strange, but I think he's since been like inducted into the GLC, but
I want to remember,
yeah. So I consider Silver Age Green Lantern the beginning of my run. And you asked when it came out, and let's see if I can find that. Yes, I do know. 1959.
Yeah.
Showcase 22.
And that wasn't the last book you got your collection, or you needed whatever. So I remember when you showed the showcase, going, "Oh, he got it! Yay!"
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I actually got the showcase, and let's see if I can find it. And the #1, Green Lantern #1, I got them in the same week.
That's really cool. I have the facsimile. So
but you're right. It was not the last one. The last one I needed for my collection, because I now have a full run from Silver Age onward, including the 3 showcase appearances. But the last book I needed, I just got this year. And that's Green Lantern #7, the first Sinestro.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I knew it had something to do with Sinestro, but I couldn't quite be sure.
Yeah, he's not even on the cover, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely find Sinestro a very interesting character. I mean, I guess maybe it's just not, maybe I'm not very exciting in my favorites, but I always have like a favorite villain, and it tends to be that most, the iconic Lex Luthor, Superman, Joker, Batman, Sinestro, Green Lantern. I mean, I guess I'm not that deep when it comes to favorite villains. I guess I tend to be he's iconic, so therefore he's my favorite.
Right.
So
well, he's great because he actually was a member of the Green Lantern Corps. In fact, he was their greatest member before Hal. And it was at his actual turn to evil that, it makes his character so interesting there, and his reasons for doing so.
Yeah, I think one of the books I read early, or what he talked about, like fear of being trapped by some sort of authority, fear of doing something else, and fear of, I don't know. He listed a whole bunch of things, and finally just are afraid of this, and just I don't know. I'm grasping for straws on something I read once. Not the best preparation on my part, but
it's okay.
I know there's lots of Green Lantern movies out there. There's only one real one, I guess, as far as I know, and then there's the animated. My favorite Green Lantern movie is The First Flight.
Yes,
is the First Flight one. What's your favorite Green Lantern movie?
I actually would have probably chosen First Flight as well.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that one.
I liked the uniforms better on Sinestro when they became yellow, and just it was interesting. Sinestro just had an attitude that I could just relate to and hate at the same time.
So I tell you what, my absolute favorite, though, it's not a movie, it's the animated TV show from Cartoon Network. It only lasted for 1 season, which is such a shame, because they introduced 2 new characters, like really cool characters that I don't even think we've seen them in the comics yet. And it was just a great show. And it was, unfortunately, it came out, I think, around the time of the movie, and that kind of did it in.
Let's see what I wanted to explain. So the Green Lantern Corps is only one of the corps. Like I said, it's a whole spectrum of emotion and the light spectrum and all that. What's since we're talking mainly about Green Lantern, but what's the other the Lantern Corps? I think there's like 9 of them. You got yellow.
Yellow is fear. Orange is greed. Or avarice. You've got the indigo, which is empathy. You've got the blue lanterns, which is hope. The star sapphires or pink lanterns are love. Who am I missing there? Red indigo, lanterns is rage.
Yeah. Indigo is compassion. Yep. Black is death.
Black is death. White is life.
And I think that's all.
Did we hit them all?
I think so. If not, bonus points to whoever is still missing one in the chat. What was your opinion of Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern movie? I know some people love to hate him, and like he had a better role as Deadpool, even though I don't like him as Deadpool. I don't like the vulgarity of Deadpool, but that's only me. I'm not squeaky clean by any means, but that's a little too much grease for me. But I kind of like him as in the Green Lantern movie. I mean, I understand where the flaws might be, but I think it's more the movie's fault than the actor's fault.
No, I enjoyed him in it. I thought he was funny. I thought he fit the role. He had that kind of cockiness to him that Hal's got. And I mean, I believed it. It was, the dialogue wasn't the best. And by the time he came back to Earth, it was kind of downhill from there. The movie, I mean, they didn't get Parallax right. The whole thing was a mess at the end. But the first part I loved.
Yeah. Parallax, Galactus. Let this be a note to you, Marvel. No bad guys are good when they're half cloud.
Yes, that's right. They did do it with Galactus too, didn't they? In that Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So Parallax, I'll forgive that because maybe it's like, how do you do it exactly? Although if they did a more of a yellow deity, it might have made more sense, or at least to us. But the only problem I really had was Dr. Hammond.
Hector Hammond.
Yeah, Hector. Yeah, I didn't like the character, and I didn't like what he became. He was just like, what the heck is this guy? So
it wasn't the best choice.
Let's see. Explain really quickly, I guess, because we know the whole reason I guess we had Kyle Rayner come by was because Hal Jordan snapped and killed all the Green Lanterns and all that, except for we find out the Lost Lanterns, which didn't quite die. I mean, I only know them briefly based on other stories I've heard. Otherwise, I'm basically, I know what I'm talking about. I don't really. What's the relationship between Hal Jordan and Parallax in the story? It begins with Emerald Night or Twilight?
Emerald
Twilight,
which
is actually my favorite 3 issues of Green Lantern. That 3-issue story arc there, I just love.
Yeah, they're great.
What's the relationship between them?
So it actually ties back to the book we were just talking about, number 46, the Reign of the Supermen tie-in. What's happening there is they are battling Mongol and I think, is it the Eradicator or no, Cyborg Superman.
Superman.
Yeah. And over Coast City, which is Hal's home. It's like Superman is to Metropolis, Hal is to Coast City. And in the fight, World destroys Coast City and everyone in it. And everyone Hal knows. And so it kind of drives him crazy. I think it's been a while since I read it, but I think he blames the Guardians and basically he goes nuts. And I think he supercharges at the battery or something like that. And he ends up taking out the Green Lantern Corps. What really happens though, is he's become possessed by the yellow fear entity called Parallax, which has been hidden inside of the central power battery. And when it escapes, it possesses Hal, and he stays that way for like, I think a decade or so.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He technically dies in the final night when Hal absorbs the Sun Eater somehow.
Yeah, he flies into the sun or something, right?
He absorbs things somehow to where he melts all the snow at once, but then dries it, and so the Earth's not flooded by the sudden mountain of snow. The sun is saved, and he sacrifices his life, and
sacrifices his life. He's free of Parallax, and then the Spectre comes in and takes him over, so he's still not free. It's like, and it wouldn't be until Jeff Johns that we finally got Hal back again. So during that time, that whole period for like over a decade, Kyle Rayner was the last Green Lantern, and he was from Earth. And I think the reason why I don't relate to him quite as much is because that's about shortly before the time where I kind of stopped collecting for a bit. And I came back to Jeff Johns's run, and it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, I got the Reign there, and I got the storyline that I liked, And just because I just wanted to know about it because I got the first like 10 or so of Kyle Rayner, including his girlfriend as the girlfriend popsicle, in the fridge, and all that. The first time, we get a body in a fridge in the comic book, I guess. Sad to say that you can't see the first time because it happens afterwards now.
Oh yeah.
But,
well, that scene actually has caused quite a bit of controversy over the years. They've created a whole group around that, to kind of highlight, hey, not the nicest things don't happen to women in comics.
Yeah. Speaking of Hal Jordan as Parallax, what are some of the most powerful or dangerous enemies of the Lanterns, or Hal Jordan specific and all that? Because I know we talked about Sinestro, the former Lantern. What's more dangerous than a friend turned enemy? But there's got to be other people that are as powerful, including, like you said, Mongol, who's made of yellow. So
yeah, there's Mongol. There's also, of course, from the other Lantern Corps, you've got Atrocitus for the Red Lanterns. So he's a real problem. Larfleeze from the Orange Lantern, he's the only one because it's avarice, greed. So you can only have one. They end up killing the rest of them, right? So he's really tough too. But one of my favorite villains is, again, Jeff Johns brought him back and really made him such a super villain that he really took out the entire DC universe, and that would be Blackhand.
Yeah.
And I think I just saw you open this book.
Yes, I bought it for my brother because he likes to collect Green Lantern too, and so I've been buying or seeing, it was like basically gift, because he helped me out a little bit. I owe him some money, so this is like here's some old Green Lantern and all that. Mark this much off.
Well, this was a good one. This is Blackhand, and he is the one that kicks off Blackest Night, and is basically kind of, I'd say, in charge of the Black Lanterns, but actually, their god, I guess, or their entity would be Necron.
Yeah, Necron. Well, I was gonna say necrophilia. No, that's not it. Although close enough, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, the Blackest Night. Yeah. That's actually another thing I found this weekend when I went for whatever. I found the Blackest Night trade kind of thing, so I can actually read that. I was looking for Sinestro Corps War because I really want to read that in its entirety. Because I guess one of the reasons why in my collecting I am not I can live in an episode or in an issue and not be so ground down. Other people would have to read things in continuity is because how I get things so out of order. I pretty much have to be in the one book and not judge it by its next. I'm focusing on the one issue, and so that's how I went for collecting and all that. So, but I wanted to read those storylines. So I was like, well, I'll get the trades. I'll still go after certain key issues, but I want to know the whole dang story. So
no, it's great.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So yeah, Blackhand, Sinestro, Atrocitus, that card. Yeah, there just seemed like there's, because I remember watching a couple of storylines on Green Lantern on YouTube here and saying that Larfleeze is basically the equivalent of Hal Jordan as Parallax and all that. It's the entity inside them because he's the only one. He's that powerful, and it makes sense. So just, have you ever taken a quiz, a test to figure out what what Lantern you might have been a part of and all that, or you just always associate with Green Lantern? You never bothered with it.
I may have, but I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah. Me and my wife and my son all took it just because I was curious. Because I thought I'd honestly be either a Red Lantern or a Blue Lantern or kind of a thing, just because I do have a little bit of a temper. It's my weak spot and all that. I work on it, but it's going to be it's going to be like an AA kind of meeting for me. I'm always going to have to work on it. But I was actually surprised. I came across with a Blue Lantern result, and it does make more sense. I tend to be more hopeful and things, that things will work out, no matter what. So it made sense. My wife came across as the Green Lantern. I'm going, well, that fits you to the T. She's willful to a T. Don't get in her way. And I'm like, what should my son be? And I'm going, I actually nailed it down. 100, whatever. He came across as an Orange Lantern.
There you go.
I was going like, I knew it. Like, how'd you know that? Going, you are very me. You know, even you have your own things to work on. So yeah, I called him as an Orange Lantern. So this is funny as hell that I got that right. Let's see. Let me get this question right. Okay, you are writing or drawing the character of Green Lantern. What would be your input to develop the character? You know, would you, the storyline, costume change, like Kyle Rayner did to his? What, was there a personality trait? What would be the Foo touch? To Green Lantern. Because I know if I was drawing or if I was writing for Spider-Man, I would basically be putting the marriage back. Hell or high water with management. So you can fire me, but it's going to the printer, kind of a thing, sort of thing. I'd have a few other touches, but that would be my sort of character input to Spider-Man and all that. But it's just something that you always wanted to see as part of Green Lantern.
Yeah, I think what I would like to see is for them to go back some and revisit the story that they didn't fully tell. In terms of the origins of the Orange Lantern, or Agent Orange, and his and the peace treaty that he has with the Guardians. I'd like to kind of see them put together a book just about that period, and that would be way prior to like Hal Jordan, but I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and you talked about it briefly. There's supposed to be like 3,600 sectors in the for the Green Lantern Corps patrols, one per sector. Except for some reason, Earth. Our sector. We seem to be very special. 2814. I guess part of the storylines is Earth is the center of the multiverse. It has Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Jessica Cruz. We seem to have.
Yeah, it's gotten a little ridiculous.
It's kind of like, are we that powerful, or are we that pathetic that we need so many Green Lanterns? So
yeah, so it started with Guy Gardner here. This is his first appearance.
The very punchable face Guy Gardner.
59, yeah. But I love Guy Gardner. I think he is just such a fun character. And then and that was kind of the first thing, like where like he was meant to like replace Hal, I think. And then we got John Stewart. This is his first. This has been a somewhat popular book lately. This is number 87. And yeah, yeah, you're right. And then we got Kyle took over for Hal. And then all of a sudden we got Simon, because I think Hal again, it blurs my head a little exactly what was going on, but I think Hal died again. And then suddenly there was Jessica Cruz. She got her ring from like Earth 2. And so some of it is the multiverse, and some of it is just they were replacing a lost lantern. But then why did additional rings keep showing up? I mean, I don't know. At one point, Hal, he's so powerful, he actually willed himself his own ring.
Yeah. That is just, it's always makes like Wonder Woman, like it's one per sector, and over on here on Earth, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
We are just remedial Earth, and so we need all the lanterns we can get.
Yep. Well, the best part too that I love is you asked like what I would fix. Well, I'd fix this too. So the whole origin is Hal discovers this crashed spaceship, which is Abin Sur's ship, and Abin Sur was the Green Lantern for Earth and Sector 2814 before Hal. And so he takes the ring when Abin dies. But again, why does he need a spaceship if he's a Green Lantern?
He was injured. He was according to First Flight, he was undercover and he was busted and he was an escape pod.
Sure. I mean, they've tried to fix it since, but it's kind of a little silly.
Yeah, well, that way he could preserve his juice in his ring, which does make the most sense. You only have a certain limited battery. His battery's back home. He forgot it.
No Green Lanterns have really ever done it since, other than the animated, but that was a different reason too. So
yeah, that's true. Definitely. Yeah, but that's one of the things I might change too. I might do away with the 1 per sector rule because a police force from multiverse, I'd want more than just one per sector, because how many planets are there?
There you go. Yeah.
Like, recruiting Green Lanterns, okay, you're from this sector here, we'll put you guys over there, rotating shifts, you guys over there now. And hey, I know no one wants to do 3-4-2, but get back to it. I don't care if it's a board side of the neighborhood. Get patrolling. There'd be a lot of fun there. Let's see. We kind of talked about that, I guess. We share a love of one specific Green Lantern, the 46 cover. It sparked your collecting start, I guess, and it was part of my favorite arc, and so we're connected with that one specific issue. Did that issue come with a DC logo? I know there's certain DC books that have DC logo.
I think so. I don't. It was right around that time period where you can get the DCU variants.
Because that's when
I'm trying to remember if that one has it. I'm not sure.
Because I wouldn't mind getting the second print of that. I wouldn't mind getting a DC logo on that one. Yeah, so that's just my own there. All right, now we're going to stump you. We're going to make you think a little bit. Rank all the Earth Green Lanterns in order from either the best to the worst or worst to the best on how you want for all the Green Lanterns and who you think is the most powerful or the best, or or vice versa. Like I would generally agree that Hal, because he's always known as the best Green Lantern, has to be at the top of the list. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. But what would your ranks be for the Green Lantern?
All right. I'd go with Hal at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I would go with Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd probably go with John Stewart. Then Kyle Rayner. Look, I'm going in order that they came out. Look at that. And then I'd say Jessica Cruz, and then Simon Baz.
Yeah. Simon was an interesting character when I read about him. I'm going like, that writing on his arm. I think he's he's Muslim, and like, oh yeah, he is. Interesting.
Yeah. And he's got a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, not a green one, a gray one. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's like it's his lucky piece.
Yeah.
Although
I didn't care for that character too much. It didn't seem to fit in with the rest of it. I don't know.
Yeah. Although with his ring, he wouldn't run out of bullets. He just shoot bullets all the time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's see. Since you have every single issue and all that, what are some of the best or your favorite story arcs in the character? I mean, I know we talked about Emerald Twilight being my favorite, those 3 issues of 48, 49, 50, and where the birth of Kyle Rayner comes afterwards because Hal Jordan wipes it out. We got the Blackest Night that was talked about. We talked about the Sinestro Corps War. But what are some of the famous, well-known, your favorite story arcs and all that for anyone watching who doesn't know particularly?
Sure.
And we are specifically talking about Earth Green Lantern, so that's why Kilowog wasn't mentioned.
There you go. So some of my favorite story arcs that we have not mentioned. Actually, 2 of my favorites, and they're 2 of the ones I would recommend to anybody if you're going to just start, if you're just getting introduced to the character, these are perfect. And that would be Emerald Dawn 1 and 2. I believe they're both 6-part minis.
Yeah.
And they give the origin retold of Hal and the Green Lanterns, and then the Sinestro's fall from grace. So it's a really great story run.
Yeah. Furry Green Lantern. Old man Hal here says Adams O'Neill run. So I don't know that one, but you might.
Oh yeah, that's one of the big ones. That's Green Lantern number 76.
Nice. Those the split cover or split title, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. I have one or two of those, but I don't have. And then I have facsimile for the drug issue with
the drug issue is the drug issue I believe is
122.
actually
somewhere it's early 120s.
This one, 76, is interesting because this is considered the beginning of the Bronze Age. So this is the book that really kicks it off because of this run by O'Neill and Adams. But yeah, the drug issue, man, that was this was one of the first real keys that I went after for Green Lantern. I was just enamored with this cover. I mean, it's just so crazy. Like my ward is a junkie. And it's like, wow, you don't see that every day in a comic. But
this year on my wish list, I had the 3 ASM books that were the drug issues without the Comic Code Authority stamp. So that's the part of the thing I went after this year.
So let me since we're talking about the O'Neill Adams run, I just showed that 76. I've got an homage cover to that. I don't know how many of these were made, but this is from San Diego Comic-Con, I think. It's KFC number 3, signed by Neil Adams, 9/8. And it's the Colonel Sanders.
That's funny right there.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool book.
Yeah, if I forget, I have a few kind of funny issues, comics that are just there, but I don't think I have anything that funny. Seeing that cover makes me angry about the poster I got for you.
Yeah, so that poster right there behind me, Warlord made that. What he's talking about is he actually accidentally misprinted that cover in 2 places. The drug cover. But that's fine. I still love it, man. That's
because the story was so good it had to be shown twice. So.
Yeah. People send me the coolest stuff once they find out I'm a Green Lantern fan. It's I've gotten some of the most amazing things from the community.
Yeah, I found this when I was in Walmart the other day. So
nice.
A little
very cool
trading card game kind of thing. It's like, oh, I wonder if Foo, found this at Walmart, kind of thing.
I don't have that one yet. I've got the older one. I think this is from the 90s.
I can send that to you because I thought, well, it's like $2. I'll see if he has it and all that, and I can add to your collection. So
nice. Thank you.
I like that, my own little thing there. Let's see. We'll get to that question kind of last because then we can just go on and on about it. Oh yeah, describe for me. I heard something called a story arc called "The Rise of the Third Army." It fits somewhere between like Wrath of the First Lantern and Blackest Night, somewhere in there. But it was like all the others I knew something about, roughly based on the videos I watched. But the Rise of the Third Army, I had no idea what it was about. I mean, the only thing I could think of was like General Patton in World War II when he was commander of the Third Army. So that was the closest connection I had. Going, that's not Green Lantern. So
yeah. So the Guardians of the Universe, while maybe good intentioned, although they're kind of cranky little guys, they're very arrogant, right? And in their arrogance, they have been known to make mistakes. And so the first army was called the Manhunters. They were androids. And they essentially turned and decided that the best way to protect the universe was to destroy all life. So then they created the Green Lantern Corps in response, and they worked out for the most part, but eventually and now you're stretching my memory because it's been quite a while since I read that part of the story, but something happens where they decide that the Green Lanterns can't cut it anymore, and so then they create the Third Army, which I can't remember exactly the mechanics of how it works, but I think it converts the Green Lanterns, each of them, it converts everybody to this new being that they control, and that's the Third Army.
Would that be like the Alpha Lanterns or something? I thought I heard about
similar. Alpha Lanterns were a part of the Green Lantern Corps, and I think that was voluntary though. But yeah, they kind of took their mind over for that too. They kind of lost part of who they were.
Yeah,
they were like the senior level of the Green Lantern Corps, but it wasn't exactly a good thing.
But yeah, it's very interesting. It's like going, I'm diving into a new thing. I'm trying to keep my wits about me because I don't want this to turn into another Amazing Spider-Man thing, because I am not the kind of, I don't want to be the kind of collector who collects every single book of every single run of every single character that I like. I would need 2 houses to fit them and all that. So I'm going like, I want to stick to story arcs and time periods and keys, and I need to branch out. But I was like, oh, what's the third army? So definitely very interesting.
It's all part of that Jeff Johns run.
Yeah, like I said, just I'd be very interested to see what he could do with Spider-Man. Honestly, if he could ever leave DC and come to Marvel, going, please go work on Spider-Man. Let's see some of that magic writing. See what you can do with Spider-Man. That pretty much sums up a lot. I have only two questions left, but we'll kind of delve into this one. What kind of Green Lantern stuff do you have in your collection? You've shown several books, like First Hal, First John Stewart, and Guy Gardner. What are some of the stuff you collect? I see pictures in the background. You saw some sort of primeval action figure kind of thing you showed on one of your last videos that you got recently on your wall. I think I can see it back there over your head, but I'm not sure.
Oh, Primal Age?
Yeah, it was some sort of primal something. It looks like Green Lantern meets Conan almost, but I wasn't sure. Like I said, that's how
I don't recall him. But
I apologize to you and everyone watching that confuse you.
Oh yeah, you probably are talking about the Primal Age. Yeah, those are the Funko DC Universe action figures that look like He-Man.
Yeah, that's probably what I was talking about, like He-Man. Because all I know is I saw the video once and kind of committed it to memory, and now I'm trying to bring it up. So I'm going like, okay, I'm trying to speak French to a person who speaks fluently, and I'm looking like an idiot.
No. So I basically, I've got several things in my collection. I've got a large Star Wars collection. Yeah, I collect some vinyl. I collect a lot of Marvel, actually. For Marvel, the one run I am trying to complete is Amazing Spider-Man. And I think I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60 books to go. So we share that too.
I'm under 50 now, so
nice. That's a feat.
Yeah.
But as far as Green Lantern goes, I collect literally anything Green Lantern. I just decided I was going to go all in one day, and I didn't know how deep that hole was going to go, but yeah, it keeps going. And and so my kids kind of gave me the idea to like, you should submit it to Guinness Book of World Records. And so I thought, maybe I should. So I haven't done it yet. I keep dragging my feet because it's a lot of work, but yeah, I probably will before the end of the year. That's my goal. So
well, you heard it there.
Before the end of the year, that is my goal. I really want to get this done, but yeah, it takes a long time to catalog everything and then submit it. And I don't know if I need to take a picture of it all, but
yeah, well, I've listened to this podcasts on Spider-Man and all that, and one guy basically had like submitted a Guinness for the largest Spider-Man collection, and he had like one person, like 2 witnesses. One person was some sort of authority in some regard, like going, that is what it is, and I forget what the second person did, but yeah, I basically had to take pictures, cataloging it, and then you had to do this all in a certain time period once you start. But yeah,
it's like a 6-month wait, and
yeah, but I'm pretty sure pictures of everything are, proof of, because then the witness has to see, oh yeah, this is, the new Green Lantern trading card game, bought 2021. Here's the first one and all that. Click, click. There's 2 items there. He saw it, or they saw it, can sign off on it.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. But
well, yeah, and part of the issue too is like I'm always getting more, or that like I haven't finished part of the collection, like the action figures. Like there's holes in my collection still, and so it's like in my head I'm like, well, I can't submit it until I fill those holes. And it's like I got to stop doing that because I'm never going to finish.
Speaking of holes in your collection, I know one of my favorite things on your, I think it was 9-part collection videos. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have all the videos listed basically beside your channel part 1, this video, all that. So I'm pretty sure it's all in the description for anyone watching and interested in it. But one of my favorites, besides the I think Silver Age of Green Lantern, was the Funko Pops. And you're talking about that and seeing all that. And I kind of agree with you that why the heck is there not a Sinestro Yellow Lantern, Funko Pop? I mean, that's what he's known for, basically. But do you have any of those pops lying around? Did you think about, or are they all put away?
Actually, most are on my wall up there.
Yeah.
I've got the entire spectrum of all the different Lantern Corps. And let's see. I do have some new ones here. I haven't even shown them on my channel yet. I can share with you.
Awesome. You get exclusive here, folks.
There you go.
And then we'll get to Southern's question after we show these off.
All right, I'll show you the newest additions to my Funko collection. So I think, was it you that actually sent me a message about this one?
I might have. Let me get you bigger. There we go.
So this is the new John Stewart kind of, I don't know, like samurai.
Yeah, it's some sort of samurai thing. And I didn't send you the message about that one. I sent you the message about, I think,
the soda.
And the Jessica Cruz Green Lantern Day of the Dead thing.
Yes. And so I have all that stuff on order. Unfortunately, I think I gave Entertainment Earth the wrong address, so I may have to reorder. But then I just got we were just talking about Black Hand. I got the Hot Topic.
I could have bought that a couple of months ago. If I had known I'd be getting into Green Lantern, I would have bought that. But I didn't know I'd get into getting some Green Lantern keys at the time. So you missed out on it.
Hey, these would go great with your book or your brother's book. This is the same one, but I collect all the different stickers.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have multiples of the other ones. If they came out with different variants, I've got them all. I only do that for Green Lantern, really.
Yeah, I understand that.
And then
like I try to get every single print of a certain key, like the Superman 75. They got the second and third print. Yeah. I'm just missing the fifth one.
Yep. So this is a new one. I got the Funko Pen Topper.
That's cool.
Like I said, anything Green Lantern.
I have.
I just got in. I think there's only 1,500 of these.
Nice. I have a few Pez, but I'm kind of getting rid of them. Pez has never interested me, I think, after I outgrew them as a kid.
Yeah. And then from the mystery minis, of course, Sheldon Cooper with the Green Lantern shirt. That counts. Yeah.
I wonder if that's his favorite I wonder who Sheldon Cooper's favorite superhero was. Was it like Green Lantern, Flash?
Wasn't it Flash that they always wanted to dress up as?
It seemed like it. I don't know, but he always wore a Green Lantern and a Flash T-shirt. You didn't catch him really wearing anything else.
Right.
Yeah. Sheldon seemed to be a DC fan.
Yeah. So, all right. Southern had a question.
Yeah, he said, "Do you collect all the Green Lantern Corps too, Corps too?
Yes.
The Corps, Hal Jordan's Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
All of it. So I've got a full run of those. I got a full run of Guy Gardner, full run of Red Lanterns, Sinestro, Larfleeze, all of them.
I found the Red Lanterns interesting, especially when Supergirl got a Red Lantern ring. I liked that story arc there. I got that entire. In fact, that was another thing I got too. I think I got all the Red Lantern Supergirl books, part of things too. And then briefly here, I got. I'm gonna. The book's over there. But you have any pops to show, and I'll go get the book so I can show you guys what I'm talking about.
What do I have to show?
But yeah, so here is the when Superman get infected by parallax or whatever kind of thing, and so he becomes a Yellow Lantern. Thing. This was really cool, and it got me thinking, because well, Supergirl got a Red Lantern ring. Superman was infected by the Yellow Lantern. If those two go at it, who would win? I was,
I don't know.
I'm like I said, it's me thinking in the terms of my show, The Knockout. I'm thinking who would win in that regards, and I'm going, well, rage would require has a lot of power to rage, but it can make you a little careless, I imagine, unless you're that focused, focused kind of character. But I'm thinking, going, I think fear could even turn the angriest person afraid, and so I would tip the scale in Superman's favor.
Well, and they can make light constructs too, the yellow lantern.
Yeah.
So could he create like a yellow sun?
Maybe. This is your placebo sun.
Right.
Maybe
he can supercharge himself. I don't know.
Yeah, his favorite, definitely favorite nerd was Spock. That is for true there. Batman is the best lantern. Well, yeah, he's had the green ring briefly. I think he was briefly touched by yellow.
He's rejected the green ring a few times, I think.
Yeah, he's been a Black Lantern,
Yellow,
or at least the clone was yellow. I think he was also, I'm not sure, was he a White Lantern too?
Yep. Yeah. I've got those Funko things right over there.
I don't see him being a Star Sapphire or a I don't see him as a Blue Lantern, honestly. I see him.
No.
He's not that hopeful. No.
He gave up on hope long ago.
Yeah, you don't parade around in hockey masks and pads scaring people. So definitely a lot of fun there. But yeah, in fact, the very first Funko Pop that I got that was Green Lantern related, I got this. It was like buy one, get one half off. And I was after, I think, the a What If Pop there. And so I got this book. And then I also had like a $5 off coupon. So I basically got this Funko Pop for $4.
Nice.
So,
nice.
There was like,
I don't have it here. It's up on my wall. But one of the earliest DC pops one of the earliest pops that came out were some of the DC heroes, and Green Lantern was one of them. And that pop is actually worth quite a bit now because it was I think it was 2012, I want to say. Yeah. It's old.
You talked about on your thing that there was a Hal Jordan one, and there was also a one that was rare that was Bobble, because DC. I like the fact that DC doesn't have the Bobble thing. I don't like the Bobble. Oh, that's my only complaint with Funkos is the Marvel related ones are all bobble headed.
It depends. Star Wars is Bobble too, but you're right. Yeah. DC is not. However, in that like first year, there were a few. So yeah, I've got both the Bobble and the regular. And you've got to really know to look for that, or probably wouldn't know the difference.
My brother picked this up for me. Wonder Woman is the Black Lantern.
Wow, so, I think I need that one. That one looks cool.
This one's a slightly damaged box. He asked if I still wanted it, so it's like, oh, you know what? I'll put it in a pop protector.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I mean, if I sell it, it's like damaged box. But if I ever do, it's like, kind of thing, whatever. But one that I had to have when I said, oh, okay, I get a few Green Lantern pops. I had to have this one, Leonard Hofstadter.
Yes, I've got that one.
I had to have this, and I love I love them as the superheroes. Although I don't want Rajesh as Aquaman. The old, I hate that. I hate the old Aquaman look. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I was hoping Aquaman wouldn't get his traditional uniform in his movie. But when I saw it on him, going, okay, that uniform looks cool. The cartoon one doesn't. But I had to have this one, and I actually got this for I was the only person who bid on it. I think I got it for like $13 with shipping, or no, plus shipping. So,
nice. But there's the Sheldon Cooper one. I showed the mini, but they've got the regular size too. That one too is worth quite a bit because it came out so early in the pop craze.
Yeah. So I kind of find it funny that I have in my thing, I have basically 3 different lanterns, a black, a white, and a green, by complete coincidence.
Nice.
And then kind of thing is going like, well, I guess I need to get a blue lantern next.
Nice.
So that's my thing there. But yeah, so
well, really cool. One of the most valuable pops out there, one of the rarest, is actually the glow in the dark Green Lantern from San Diego Comic-Con. I think
awesome.
I want to say that was 2012 actually. Very, very few of them were made, and it's been one of the most expensive pops out there.
Yeah, DC is too serious to consider bubbles. There, and Bruce couldn't handle the Green Lantern ring. He had to give it back to Hal. I don't know, he could handle it, but he just prefers good old getting his hands dirty. You know,
I love that we got Green Lantern fans in here. This is great.
Yeah. Well, I made sure I was tagging everyone I could, going, let's see, there's Mint Hunter Comics. There is, you know, recently I came across, you know, him and then, you know, old man here on Instagram, and so I made sure I tagged him. Tim the Comic Collector, Oregon something, or something, whatever. I made sure I tagged him.
Yep.
And also that, in fact, Southern here is, I think Southern is arguing Sinestro versus the Green Lantern coming up in the knockout. When I was doing the knockout for season 3, I included powerhouses, and so, well, Green Lantern has to be a part of it. And I threw in Sinestro as well, and I did my whole random spin wheel, and those two live, everyone saw it. I did not touch a thing. Those two popped up together, and it's just busting out laughing, going, well, you guys have an entire universe of books to dig through for examples on who would win that fight. So
Hal
I
wins.
look forward to, they're on the next episode's on Thursday, and Southern's episode or a matchup will be the one after that whenever we schedule it. Talked about Green Lantern stuff. You got Funko Pops, action figures, pictures, comics, Pez, little pencil pop things, trading cards. I
mentioned people send me stuff, right?
Yeah.
I've had Green Lantern underwear sent to me.
Oh, wow.
I've had a Hallmark Christmas ornament. Magic Lasso sent me the Green Lantern Hershey's bar.
Nice.
I had Mazpa's Leather actually create me my own Green Lantern wallet.
I saw that video, or
Very
part
cool.
of it at least. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And you want to see one of the coolest things people send me, though?
Sure. As long as the underwear isn't used and they don't ask for a picture.
Hey, still in the bag.
Doesn't mean anything. He could have put it on or put it back.
But I've had, I think, like 4 different people send me these. I don't even know where this one is from, but it's a foreign Green Lantern. Like a mini.
Yeah.
These are Dutch Green Lanterns.
Nice.
And I mean, check these out. These are like Silver Age too, I think.
Yeah. Those foreign covers are just very interesting. They seem to be less. It seems like there's just less to them than ours. Like we are more, like America is more obsessed with making our covers look pretty. And they're like, here it is.
Yeah.
So.
But these are Dutch Green Lantern. I just think it's so cool. And then Lasso sent me an Italian Green Lantern.
Nice. Or Grun something. I can't remember.
Got a friend down in Brazil that has sent me a few of those.
Nice.
Through Lasso.
Are they
and then
Portuguese through and through, or are they just or English inside? Or do you have have you looked?
No, I think it's all Portuguese, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. This one might be Brazilian again. I'm not entirely sure.
Interesting.
Got a cool Star Wars on the back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, these are things that I never would have even thought to collect or look for. And people saw my playlist, I guess the same as you, and have sent me some of the most unique items. And it's so cool. I just love it. It really has helped my collection grow so much.
Yeah. But like I said, I gathered a few of my stuff to show you. I showed you the pops. And like I said, I show you like my favorite story arc, you know. Love this cover.
Yes. First Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, first Kyle Rayner, third Green Lantern. It says, first appearance of Alexa DeWitt, girlfriend murdered in issue 54. Don't go near the fridge. And probably my favorite Green Lantern cover ever, number 49. I love just that.
My favorite. That is my favorite cover. Sure.
The possessive there too. In fact, I've seen at Walmart, or I think that Walmart once on Walmart or Walmart.com, you can get a Green Lantern ring. You can order like a piece of jewelry. I wanted to ask you if you had something like that or thought about
Oh
buying
yeah.
it. Because I
You
was
probably
like, that's
can't
one
see
thing
it,
I
but I
want.
got some sitting right there.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few different rings. I got another one from the movie, like in a little box that came in.
Just got a Green Lantern 16 and 21. Is that the Silver Age you're talking about? Sorry about that. I have that's my alarm to make sure the trash is taken to the curb so I don't waste a cycle. So
I can
meant
wait.
to.
It's fine.
No. I already did it on the way inside, but I meant
There
to
you
turn that
go.
alarm off.
So he said he just got a 21. Actually, number 22. This was the first Silver Age Green Lantern I ever picked up.
Nice.
I just kind of I'd already made the decision I was going after Green Lantern. I went to my LCS, and this was the only older Green Lantern they had, and I think I paid $40 for it or something. And it didn't matter because I remember I went home and I sat there and just stared at this comic for days. Like, I cannot believe I'm holding this book in my hands. It's so old. It's just, what an amazing cover. And from that point on, I was hooked.
Yeah, I apologize, Warlord. You weren't the only one who jumped. Jeez. But yeah, Green Lantern 50, you know.
Glow in the dark, yes.
Yeah. Apparently it glows even better when you shine a black light on it.
Yeah.
Here's the...
Now that has a DCU, because I've got the DCU for that one.
Here's the Girlfriend in the Fridge issue, 54.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Number 54, Death of Alex DeWitt. Controversial issue. Major Force murders Alex and hides her remains in a fridge for him to find.
He does.
So right next to the leftovers.
Yep.
Like I mentioned, I had to get the Supergirl as Red Lantern issues.
Red Daughter.
Yeah. It was just awesome and all that. And I liked how she survived, because apparently with the Red Lantern Corps, that it becomes your life, and so if you take off the ring, you basically die.
Yeah,
I think whatever. And
yeah,
so
you get like reborn in like this red pool of plasma, I think they call it.
Yeah, so she took off her ring near the sun, and so it was like a CPR kind of, and she brought her back. So that's how she survived. And then this Green Lantern special, number 1, you know, kind of a thing, you know. Just this is actually one of the earlier books that I bought too, when I was not buying Green Lantern, but just because I liked it, because one of my passions is history. I love reading and all that, and so Green Lantern, superhero, plus the apartheid, South Africa. It was just, it spoke to me on multiple levels. So I said, you know what, few bucks, I buy it. It might not be ever of value, but it's just a cool book. It speaks to you on regards. So Ronnie says, good morning. So you must be not close to us, since it's, you know, 8 o'clock with me, 9 o'clock with you. So but speaking of Ivan here, he said the Squatch print is great too. There was one early Squatch did a print of you with the Green Lantern ring that I remember loved seeing that cover.
Yeah, let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, these are just very cool. Yeah, I like your comic room. It's a lot bigger than mine is. I need to, whenever we move to a different house, I need to pick a bigger room. Since I'm running out of space and creativity to make things work. So, but definitely, let's see if I can see the background there. I got the Superman 75 thing over there. A couple Superman stuff. You have the album. The Furry Trooper.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I'm just trying to guess from the background. Yeah, the Squatch Lantern.
Yeah, he did such an amazing job.
Yeah. He does some pretty good work. You know, some of the covers are like not my style, you know, obviously, but they're still cool covers to see. You know, it's a level that I don't quite have. You know, you guys can see some of the artwork I have. Well, maybe not in the background now, but I've done paintings before.
Well, speaking of Squatchy, I just got my my first set of Squatchy and Foo. I don't know if you've heard of this, the comic he created.
I've seen that on Instagram. I did follow him or whatever, so I've seen these prints and all that. I'm seeing the comic books going.
It's amazing. I mean, it's very irreverent, but it's very funny. And it's basically, well, it's loosely based on he and I and some of the conversations that we've had and things we've done, but and it involves all the different members of the comic community. He did a great job pulling everyone in. So if you enjoy watching like the comic community on YouTube and stuff or on IG, go check out Squatchy Comics on Instagram. And he's got these books out. This is the A cover.
Nice.
And then I got the B cover he remarked for me, and it's got the Green Lantern remark there.
Yeah, I prefer that one just because of the Green Lantern as part of it. It's you.
So,
speaking of which, in the very beginning I didn't quite mention everyone there's a running joke, you know, Foo is a furry, and our Foo, and the Foo in general, what exactly did this Foo come from, and how did he become a furry?
Well, Foo is just kind of a name I've used for a while for things. And the furry thing, I sent a screenshot of something to Squatchy one time, and he swears that it says based on my browsing history, but it did not. It was like what was trending on Twitter that day, and it had a hashtag on there. It said Fursuit Friday, and he took that to mean that must mean I am a furry. And so he went and he told literally everybody, and everybody took off with the joke, and there was no reining that one back in. So
it's got to be.
I just kind of embraced it. Hence, you get the Food Trooper, you know, with the furry hat.
Yeah.
Somebody actually sent me, Copy 801 sent me a squirrel suit. I get a lot of really strange things sent to me. Thank you, Squatchy. And a comic book with me in a giant squirrel suit. So that was wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah. You sent me an issue of like Foo something or ComicFoo or something. You sent me this when I bought something from you or something. You sent me an issue. I wish I thought about to grab beforehand, but yeah, some sort of Foo thing. I'm going like, well, I'll never read this, I don't think.
Leave on the Light, number 3.
I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it here.
It was probably Leave on the Light number 3, which it's a horror book, but I'm in the book in one of the panels in like a prison break scene. And I think that's probably what I sent.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know it's here. Summon comic. Let's see if it's here. Like I said, I wish I thought about it now. I would have shown it to you. It's one of those things where, well, this was an A-okay. I'm not going to get rid of it. It's kind of weird. I've seen him hugging a furry at a con before too. So yeah, Mark is.
That was a setup by you, Southern.
Yeah,
he put me right next to his big furry thing and says, "Oh, I'm going to take your picture real quick," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, my wife has a friend who's a furry, so you know, so I know a little bit about the lifestyle.
Careful,
but enough to say, have fun. I'm over here. Yeah, the only question I really have left, I guess, is for people like me and others like possibly Southern or Ronnie, whoever is watching, you know, what keys or issues should a collector, you know, learn who loves Green Lantern but doesn't collect it, you know, as a primary source like ASM for me, go after or have? You know, if I know things like the first Hal Jordan and the first John Stewart and Guy Gardner are big key books, you know, so maybe something cheaper like was it Green Lantern 25 when you get the Green Lantern Corps and the other corps like the blue and the red and all this stuff get birthed at the end of the Sinestro Corps War.
Yeah.
And things like that. So what
so book? Yeah, so I showed you some already. Let's see. Here's another good one. Is this 40, I think so. I can't read it. Number 40. Nice. This is a little bit more affordable. This is going to be the origin of the Guardians. So that's a great one. The one you showed was at 49, I think. That's the first Kyle. That's still very affordable as well.
Yeah. 40. Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we got? I think number 6 is this. Yeah, number 6 is the first Tomar Ray.
Yeah, interesting
That's right
character.
there. Yeah.
I prefer Kilowog to Tomar Ray.
So Green Lantern 201, I think. Is it 201 or 2? Yeah, I think it's 201 is the first Kilowog.
Yeah. He changes a lot in his appearance from that first issue.
He does. He does. He really does. You've got 25 is the Jeff Johns run, has all those different appearances of first Blue Lantern, Atrocitus, all those stuff. And then there's Justice League 31, which is still affordable to pick up. That's the first Jessica Cruz. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Is it an annual or a Tales of the Green Lantern Corps? It might be an annual. I can't remember exactly, but there's an Alan Moore story out there. So for those of you that like Alan Moore, he did do Green Lantern, and he actually created the character Mogo, which is the giant Green Lantern planet. Go look up first appearance of Mogo, and that is a very affordable key. And again, it's a great Alan Moore story.
Yeah. In fact, I recently read the 80 year Green Lantern anniversary thing that came out earlier this year, and it had a list, or had a thing in the back with all the Green Lanterns known and their first appearances. Mogo, they talked about Mogo being like some sort of number. I'm not sure if it was what number it was. But yeah, I literally just looked at that this during lunch because I just read that today. Whatever. So it's like interesting there. And then first Simon was the Free Comic Book Day. I bought the 0 issue, I believe, or it's 1 issue or the 0 issue from Southern because I bought some of my first
Green Lantern. Yeah.
I bought some of my first Green Lantern books from Southern in one of his Saturday auctions. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get more Green Lantern. That's what I'm going to start doing, get some Green Lantern branching out, since I've been primarily there. And I've, like I said, I have a very bad habit of not having some self-control. And so I tend to slide into things and all that. So I'm going, well, I can definitely get more into DC now, and I'll focus on Green Lantern for, right now.
It's a good time. They're still affordable. It's not going to be like collecting ASM. It'll be a little easier.
Yeah, for ASM, the last big book I think I have left to get in the regular thing, not annuals or anything, is 13. But yeah, I picked up a couple of first volume of Superior Spider-Man, because that's part of the ASM run, those 33 issues. So you have to get those books.
Yep.
Once you get past Green Lantern 76, the Green Arrow team up, the next issues are great and not so expensive. Yeah.
So the Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil run started with 76, and the drug issues part of it. Aside from those 2 issues, the rest are very affordable, and it's the Green Lantern Green Arrow team up, and they stay on Earth to focus on Earth's issues at the time and their social issues. And so it was a kind of a social commentary on culture at the time, and was one of the first times that really was tackled in comics. And so that's what made it kind of the birth of the Bronze Age, where they started doing that. And then and it was just known for that. So
so I just checked and all that before I did. I definitely included your channel, the link to your channel in the description of this video, as well as the ComicFoo's GL collection. The first video being Silver Age, DC Collectibles, DC Direct, Bronze Age, on and on you did 10 of them total, including the last one, which is the final Grail Green Lantern key.
And I'm not done. I don't think I've even begun to show my Mattel collection yet.
Yeah. So there's a playlist on his channel, but there are shortcuts in the description of this video to his thing, so you guys can check them out. And particularly an interest or key interest of yours, like Bronze Age books, Silver Age books, or Funkos, if that's what floats your boat. So
I tried to categorize it into individual collections.
But yeah, I wanted to make sure and when prepping for this video, that anyone could find the different videos on yours, just that way they could show it off. You know, as I would love people to show off my collection if I ever did videos like that. So,
Well, appreciate it.
I have no other questions. I basically ran out of things. Picked up the wrong pop and put it back. I picked up a black pop and put it in the place of the Wonder Woman and didn't think twice. I was half distracted. I picked up the wrong one. They both look black in the corner of my eye. Anything you want to talk about or discuss, show, you know, ask questions and all that? You know, we're basically, this portion here is basically freestyle or wrap up, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever sums it up.
I think I showed most of the stuff I brought out for me today. I do have these, which are kind of cool, kind of unique. I think I showed these on one of my videos. I think so. These little action figures here.
Oh yeah. Is
that's
that the
how-
background to that, or is it a reprint?
So what this is, check it out. Like even the back has the old comic ads. What this is these are these came from, I think they were DC Direct Toys. These little minifigures. I've got the whole set still in box. All of my collection, all of my action figures, I like to keep in box. But these, somebody had opened them up or found them, I don't know. And then they reprinted this on like this real thick kind of cardboard and put it on this action figure backing board. They didn't really exist, but it's just kind of a custom piece that I picked up at my LCS out in Everett, Washington when I lived out there. And I just thought they were so cool. And I'm sure very, very few of these even exist. Maybe these are the only ones. I don't even know.
Yeah. Warlord has a question for you. Besides your comic books, what is your rarest Green Lantern item? I'd imagine, just my guess, is one of those Funko Pops that's worth, you know, a couple hundred. I think you talked about, but that might not, that's my best guess.
I've got the original Green Lantern Funkos. I've got both the Hal and the Sinestro movie variant Funkos. That's a great question. What is it? I'm not sure. Because you know, I don't think I have anything super rare. It's really just having a very large collection or completing sets of the collection. There is that one glow in the dark bobblehead, and my finger was on the mouse ready to get it on eBay, but I had to come to it was a lot of money, right? And I'll give you an idea of just how much, because I decided against it and instead ended up going with the giant size X-Men #1. So that's the kind of price this one pop is. And I don't regret it, because since then GSX has blown up, but yeah, that's kind of the one that got away. It still hurts a little.
Yeah, he's Vinny here saying the one who's Grail's Green Lantern 70, still trying to get that. That's the first Sinestro, I believe you said.
That was my last book to get.
So yeah.
Where is it?
You know, I understand that whole thing about that. I mean, because I put on my 2021 wish list ASM Annual #1. You know, the first Sinister 6. You know, because that was my not going to happen kind of a thing. And then I came across a coverless copy on Instagram for $100. So it's like, I can't pass this up. I bought so I bought it, and I bought a facsimile cover for it. So now it can display nicely. So
nice.
So what is your favorite non-canon Green Lantern story? For example, Dragon Lord. I have no idea the Dragon Lord story, but you obviously probably do.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dragon Lord is the first Green Lantern ever from Earth in ancient China. It was a little Elseworld story. That is a great question.
I would call myself the Emerald Dragon, then, I'd imagine, or the Jade Dragon, but that's that's playing towards the demographics. So
yeah. I would have to say, so I'm going to take it out of the comic book since he's saying non-canon. I would say, again, I'm going to go back to the Cartoon Network Green Lantern animated show. They added so much to the lore of Green Lantern in that show that doesn't exist in the comics. Like I said, 2 new characters, and I just fell in love with it. Like I want more. Like, actually, I shouldn't say it. They did bring it to the comics. There is an animated series. It did last like 12 issues. I lied. And so I do have those. But I would love to see that keep going because I want to know more about that story.
Yeah. I will answer that question by pointing out to the 4 seasons of Static Shock. Green Lantern appeared a few times in there. And I think the last time he appeared, Sinestro had tricked him, basically stole his battery to try and frame him. He disguised himself as John Stewart and was doing all sorts of bad things and all that. And Static's like going, "You're my hero, and I can't believe I looked up to you," and all that. And there's a whole got his ring back, got his power back kind of thing. And so just like, I like that particular thing. I believe that is whole part of canon or not canon, but it's TV related, but that's probably my favorite single thing outside of the comic book. Emerald Twilight. So definitely there. Like I said, my favorite was John Stewart as a kid for Green Lantern. All right, here's one question I just thought of. Why does it seem that besides Guy Gardner and John Stewart, that every male Green Lantern always has a mask, and it seems like females have either something around their head or no mask? It's like, why do the women of Green Lanterns don't have masks? It's like, I don't quite understand that.
I don't know.
It's one of the things that's interesting.
There's a lot of alien Green Lanterns that don't have masks too. So
yeah.
I mean, it really is up to the person. I mean, I think they even addressed it in the movie, right? Like how silly it was that he's wearing it, because like she saw him, she's like, "How?" And he's like, "Oh, it didn't work."
I thought, you don't think I could recognize you because I can't see your cheekbones,
right? Yeah, that was awesome. I love it.
But yeah, I remember I was watching, because I thought, well, since my family took the lantern quiz to see what lanterns we were, I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of paint a self-portrait, family portrait kind of thing as our lanterns. And so I'm looking for like a female Green Lantern to kind of base my wife off of, or kind of a thing. And so I've been going like, I cannot find someone with a mask, because someone with a mask would make it so much easier to do the face, because I hate doing noses and all that. So if the mask is covering the nose, it'd be so much damn easier.
Yeah. So he's saying the Star Sapphires. Now I want to see. I think I have it. Oh, I didn't bring it.
I mean, on the earlier with Carol Ferris, when she first shows up, I believe she has a mask, but that's because it seems to be more like a secret identity then.
Yeah, she does, right? That's what I was looking. I must not have grabbed that book.
But as far as the newer stuff I've seen briefly of Star Sapphires and all that, it does seem like they don't have a face covered anymore.
Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting there. So interesting. So, any other questions for Foo while we're still here? And if not, you missed the whole thing, kid. You missed the whole thing.
That's great.
I think I heard in the background, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a mask. Yep. Right.
I literally collect anything Green Lantern. This was one of the old toys from the movie. That's one of the collections I'm almost done. That was one of the hardest ones too, because it was a little bit older, but I think I'm almost done with that collection.
All right. If you didn't collect Green Lantern, or you didn't like Green Lanterns, what would it say? I'll rephrase that then. What is your second favorite Lantern Corps? Would you have a second? What do you like? Do you like the reds or the yellow? Because Sinestro, blue. Is there a second favorite one that's like going? I don't collect that stuff because it's all Green Lantern. Well, it's all Green Lantern, so you still collect it, but you don't name your collection after it. You're not collecting the world's largest Blue Lantern collection,
right?
So,
I do enjoy the Blue Lanterns quite a bit, actually, but I think if I had to pick, Agent Orange, the Orange Lanterns, Larfleeze, it's such a great character, and it was just so clever. I thought the way they did it.
Yeah, what was it? His
Yeah.
oath is what's mine is mine, is mine is mine, is mine is mine, and not yours.
Right. Yeah. So there used there used to be more, but like because they're so greedy, there can only be one. So they basically Larfleeze took them all out, but then he
Yeah.
like basically like I won't say he takes their soul, but it's kind of similar. Like he recreates them from
Yeah.
his ring, and he saved all of their batteries and their rings, and then they become his army. Are all of the former Orange Lanterns that he reconstructs.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm in the middle of watching like it's like a 9-hour YouTube video by some guy who does story arcs for comic books and
Oh
things like
wow,
that. But it's
that's a
like
long arc.
it's the entire thing of Green Lantern, of Hal Jordan, or Green Lantern history from a certain period all the way to the end. But yeah, I'm like on
From Rebirth
hour
on, probably. Yeah.
I'm on hour 7 and all that. I'm, all kind of a thing, and so I have like 2.5 more hours to go. So it's
Oh,
like,
there's huge reading lists out there for that story because
yeah.
it started with Green Lantern Rebirth, and I don't mean DC Rebirth. That was way later. But that was Jeff Johns reintroducing the character. And then you had the Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern, which went for like 5 years or so. And then in parallel, you had the Green Lantern Corps, and you kind of had to read that too to get the full story. And then that branched out into some maxi series, Blackest Night, Brightest Day. And then they had spin-off series for the Sinestro Corps, the Red Lanterns. Larfleeze had, I think, a 12-issue run. It was massive. And you need a reading order to help get through it, but it's worth it. Like, you will not regret it. They are amazing stories.
Yeah. So definitely look forward to learning more about the character. Because like I said, what I know from Green Lantern is basically based off of the Justice League animated show with Jon Stewart, and
That was great
certain
too.
some story arcs there. It's just very interesting. So yeah, definitely an interesting character. So I think we should start wrapping things up since we've been on here for about an hour and a half by the looks of it. And my wife might come in here with her, pot and pan and make me actual Blue Lantern.
There you go.
So, have we talked about the 14-year-old Hal? No, apparently we have one more thing to discuss.
Oh, Squatchy likes to remind me of this story. It's an unfortunate story from the Silver Age. There's things in those early stories that would not fly today, especially in the way they treat women. And and there's a story there where this younger girl is like genetically aged up, and Hal had some kind of relationship with her, and but she's still technically 14, so it was weird.
Well, there is a lot of things there that you don't read. Like there was some Spider-Man history thing where it's some sort of, I don't know, but it's some sort of, they had a Asian person, they had a black person, they had a white person, they had a female, so it's like on every demographic as part of this group that Spider-Man's kind of fighting up against. So it's kind of like, that wouldn't fly nowadays. You'd have to be a little more, but
if you go back and read any Silver Age, like you see it right away. You just have to understand it was a different time, and take it for what it is.
Hey, Magic Lasso. Yeah, so what did Magic Lasso send you? Was he the one who sent you the underwear?
No, that was Mad Rat. No, Lasso sent me a
Nice.
lot of these the foreign books.
Foreign books. Yeah, I was gonna say,
and the Hershey bar.
So someone sent you underwear.
Lasso's late. I talked about you. Squatchy's late and giving me grief. I showed his books off. These are the best friends I've got. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for showing up. So, yeah, this has definitely been a fun video, and Green Lantern's a fun guy to talk about. So I want to try and do more interviews with the community, but
yeah, this was fun.
But it's like, my only thing is like, well, I don't know what to do. I know that this one guy on Instagram was a Batman Beyond person, so I talked about that with him. I knew a couple people with Green Lantern, but you were the person I thought of first to do. If I do another community talk here, you know, I can invite Magic Lasso and talk Wonder Woman, you know, kind of thing. But
or
after
Tony
that,
Fett talk Harley Quinn.
yeah.
You
So
know?
it's kind of like, well, what else do I talk about after that? You know, it's like, oof. You know, I'm the ASM person, but I'm kind of narrowed in that regard. So I'm trying to branch out the best I can.
Yeah.
So it's just anyway. But yeah, let's go and wrap things up so I can spend some time with the family before I have to pull another 10-hour day at work.
Ouch.
And it sucks being an adult.
Yeah.
You know, I'm done with my free trial of adulthood. I'd like to return it now. Go back to being a kid. Yeah, well, no worries, no worries. You know, you can rewatch it later. And Wonder Woman Day is coming up. Well, that's cool. I know Batman and Free Comic Book Day and so like that. So yeah, I'll have to figure things out. So I tend to be a great collector and a bad collector at the same time. So anything you want to talk about or mention real quick, or upcoming stuff on your channel or that's coming up? Anything?
No, actually, I don't have too much going on at the moment. Just finished up my second season of Mystery Boxes, the Building a Mystery show that we do. And so right now I'm going through getting books together for the third season. And actually, we have a Mystery Men next Tuesday. We're going to have Gary Hodges from Dinosaurs vs. Marsbots on with us again. And then a new guest who we'll introduce then, another comic creator. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
cool.
So that's the Mystery Men Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Awesome. Well, I'm just glad that we could finally get this, because we had scheduled this like a month or two ago, maybe. So I was sad.
I think we both forgot the day we were supposed to do it.
We had both.
It's like a week later. We're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I remember going like, when am I supposed to do my interview with ComicFoo, and oh, that was last week. Oh.
Yeah. And I think we tried earlier. You were trying before that too, and I was traveling, and so yeah, no, this was great. I'm glad we got to hang out.
Well, this time I was better prepared. I had a description, a thumbnail. I had a second thumbnail. I had everything prepped or whatever. So still a little bit unprepared as far as spur of the moment stuff, like the Foo, because it had some sort of cartoonish blue dog, I think, on the cover. You know, like Foo was a furry kind of a thing, or Foo
we got to show that quick, right?
Yeah, or something like that. It's some sort of thing I talked
about. So again, it's Squatchy making fun of me, but he found this book called Foo Fur.
This is
Foo Fur #1. I think I'm around 28, maybe 29 copies of this now. And I just got my Squatchy and Foo back from Squatchy, and he did the homage cover for me.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the that Foo Fur is a book that you sent me when I think I bought saw a book or two from an auction, whatever, when you sold like you sold like a part of the auction ASM 129, you know, that I could have gotten for about the same price. I'm not sure, was it a high grade book that you sold?
Like a 7.0.
Yeah, so this is about paid the same amount, roughly. We give or take $100, 4.5. So I didn't realize, oh man, I could have bought that thing months in advance for the same price, you know.
And I couldn't believe that sold as high as it did at that time. Because I had I'd gotten a second one in a mystery box, and so I sold the one, and that is actually partly how I got my Showcase 22 and my Green Lantern #1. It was that, and I sold UF4.
Yeah.
I had doubles of both of those books, and that was a fantastic auction, and it got me some of my grails.
Yeah, because that 129 there, I think, has doubled in value since I've gotten it, according to the Go Collect, I believe. Because that's what I kind of track the values on my CLZ app. I keep it up there, just so I can go going like, wow, all these books that I got a lot sooner or a lot cheaper are now there. So I'm glad I have a bit of a control problem when it comes to collecting somewhat, because it allowed me to get so many of these books right away to where now books that will go up still are the ones that are cheaper.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna pay, you know, $50 a pop for these other issues left, but at least now I'm not gonna spend, you know, any more money on a ASM 1. So, you know, so
Yep.
that's that ASM 13, that last big book I have left to collect, I believe, on my list. So, yeah.
Wow.
Wow, we're going to the bank. It's $12. Woo! Yeah, so 12 times 28. So, yeah, he's rolling in the cash at his place. All right. Well, we are gonna. Unless you have anything more to say, I'm gonna go ahead and end this transmission at 1 hour and 35. So we
Unsub
can.
Stevie B.
What?
Unsub Stevie B.
Oh, unsub Stevie. Yeah. But check out his channel if you haven't. You know, sub him up. Sub me up too. I'd appreciate it. Although, you know, more likely than not, your viewer is going to come here and sub me up because you have more than I do. So it's
I hope they do.
You know, so yeah, I am, like, last I checked, I am 6 people away from 600. So
Ooh,
I am
wow.
in a milestone. So when I get up to 600 subscribers, thank you. When I get up to 600 subscribers, I have a contest or giveaway where 2 people will win. One person will win this Batman book. So
very nice.
And the other person will win some Funko Pops that I have to give away. So obviously the first person drawn in a random will get first dibs, whether they want Pops or a comic. But
nice.
Other than that, so yep. So 4 more people or 6 more people and I can launch that contest. So the video will be fairly recently. Then I have my Drive to 1,000 subscriber contest where I will give away a FF49 for when I reach 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, I don't want to part with it, but I wanted to basically have a big milestone prize to give away. So, you know, kind of thing
that's awesome.
to celebrate. That's the goal, is to eventually have 1,000 subscribers. What happens after that? Who knows? That's the goal I have in the future. Sometimes 1,000 subscribers. So, sub me up, please. All right. So, take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in this 1 hour and 40 minutes, pretty much. And finally able to get an interview with ComicFoo here. So, just glad we both remembered this one. That would have been embarrassing a second time.
Yeah. I had a Post-it note. I wasn't going to forget again.
And I was advertising it pretty much every single day on Instagram. So that way I also don't remember. Don't forget. So, you know, I do what I can for advertising. So anyway, so take care, everyone. I have a video dropping tomorrow of a comic haul that I did on Sunday, you know, at a comic book store 90 minutes from my house and all that. It's about one of the closest shops I have close to me. And unfortunately, I live in a relatively dry area to where and all that. So make sure to check that video out. It should be dropping at 7:30. Well, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. I hate having to think about that sometimes, you know, right in the middle of the United States, you have to figure out which time zone you want to go off of, Pacific or Eastern.
Right.
All right. So take care, everyone. Like this video, comment below what you like about Foo's collection and all that. You know, I'd love to see what you guys liked about the video and all that, and how I could improve on community interviews. And hell, if you want to be a part of an interview, you know, I'd love to talk about other characters that I know a lot less of, you know. So this is how I learn about certain characters like Wonder Woman and things like that. So just to be able to hear people talk about it helps me learn. So take care, everyone. See you guys next time for my next video. Happy collecting and have a good night. Talk to you later.
See ya.